It was supposed to be a routine traffic stop, but when officers opened the trunk of a woman's car, what they found inside would change everything. A nightmare hidden in plain sight, a discovery no one was prepared for, and a mystery that only grew darker with every answer. The stop happened just after midnight, a quiet Texas road, a silver sedan swerving across lanes. To officers, it looked like a drunk driver. They flipped on their lights, the car slowed, the driver, calm, almost too calm, pulled over. Inside sat a young woman, dark hair, no smell of alcohol, no slurred words, just a faint, nervous smile. She said her name was Rachel. She handed over her license with a steady hand, but the officers noticed something. Her hands were shaking, badly. They asked her to step out. That's when the inconsistencies started. Rachel said she had been visiting friends, but she couldn't say their names. She said she was driving home, but her address was in the opposite direction. And then the smell. A faint odor leaking from the trunk. Sour. Heavy. The kind of smell cops never forget. They asked her what was inside. She froze. A long silence, then whispered, "Just clothes." But the officers weren't convinced. They popped the trunk. And there it was. A blanket, soaked through, something wrapped tight underneath. They pulled it back. A body. Cold, lifeless, cramped inside the small space, eyes wide open in horror. Rachel didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just stared at the ground, silent. Who was the victim? Why was she in Rachel's trunk? And why did Rachel act like it didn't matter? The investigation moved fast. The victim was identified as Anna, a local college student, reported missing just 24 hours earlier. Friends described her as bright, cheerful, always smiling. The last person seen with her. Rachel. Detectives pulled phone records. The two women had been texting non-stop. The night Anna disappeared, she messaged Rachel, "I'm scared. Please don't do this." Chilling. Cryptic, and it made no sense. When questioned, Rachel's story kept shifting. First, she claimed she found Anna already dead. She said she panicked, didn't know what to do. So she hid the body. But detectives pushed harder, and Rachel cracked. She said someone forced her. A man, a stranger who threatened her family. He told her to take care of it, or to hide Anna's body. Or else. It sounded like a movie script, but detectives weren't buying it. No fingerprints, no sign of another suspect, and Rachel, always too calm. Then came the twist. Detectives uncovered security footage. Rachel and Anna. Together. Hours before the murder. But they weren't strangers. They weren't just friends. They looked close, very close. A hidden relationship, one Rachel never admitted. Texts revealed fights, jealousy, obsessions. Rachel had written just days before, "If I can't have you, no one will." Suddenly, the case shifted. Was this about love, possession, or something much darker? Rachel's calm demeanor now looked like something else. Control, manipulation. But still, something didn't add up. Why transport the body in her own car? Why drive so recklessly? Why practically invite suspicion? Detectives began to wonder. Was Rachel trying to get caught? The evidence piled up. Rachel's fingerprints were on the blanket, her DNA under Anna's fingernails. And yet, Rachel never confessed. Instead, she said one thing: "You're looking in the wrong direction." But what did she mean? Was someone else involved? Did she know more than she let on? Or was it all just another manipulation? Detectives searched her apartment. Inside, they found something chilling. A journal. Pages filled with rants. Drawings of coffins. And repeated phrases like, "She belongs to me." The perfect ending. But the most disturbing. One entry dated the day before Anna disappeared. It read, "Tomorrow, everything changes." Rachel was arrested, charged with murder. The case seemed closed. But then, another twist. The autopsy report. It revealed something shocking. Anna hadn't been dead long when police opened the trunk. Meaning, she may have been still alive when Rachel was pulled over. Had Rachel known this? Did she drive around with Anna dying in her trunk? Or worse, did she want officers to find her that way? The possibility chilled investigators. Because if Anna was alive, Rachel's calm behavior wasn't just strange, it was horrifying. And just when police thought they had answers, a new lead exploded the case wide open. Another body, discovered miles away, with eerily similar circumstances. Wrapped in the same kind of blanket, same style of bindings, and in the victim's pocket, a note, with just 2 words, "Help, Rachel." The discovery of a second body changed everything. It wasn't just about Rachel anymore. This wasn't one isolated crime. This was bigger, much bigger. The body was found near an abandoned farmhouse. Wrapped the same way, bound the same way, almost identical to Anna. But the message in the victim's pocket, that was different. Just 2 chilling words, "Help, Rachel." Detectives were stunned. Was Rachel the killer, or could she be a pawn in something darker? They raced to interview her again. But Rachel stayed calm, unshaken. When they showed her the note, she smirked. "I told you. You're looking in the wrong direction." The new victim was identified as Marcus, a 29-year-old bartender. No known connection to Rachel, no connection to Anna. But investigators dug deeper. Marcus's phone showed something shocking. He had been texting someone. The number wasn't saved, but the messages were clear. "Where should I meet you? Is she going to be there?" And the last text before his disappearance, "Don't tell Rachel." Theories exploded. Was Rachel framing her? Or was she running a game so twisted that even the evidence pointed in circles? Detectives pressed her harder, but Rachel gave only riddles. She said, Anna wasn't supposed to die. Marcus wasn't part of the plan. And finally, "They're not finished yet." The words froze the room. They're not finished yet. Who was they? And how many victims would there be? Meanwhile, journalists swarmed the case. Headlines screamed about the trunk killer. But some started to ask a darker question. What if Rachel wasn't the mastermind? What if she was being controlled? Detectives checked Rachel's background. Her past looked ordinary at first. No major crimes, no violent history. But then, a discovery. Back in high school, Rachel had a best friend, a girl named Claire. The two were inseparable. Until one night, Claire vanished. No body was ever found. No charges ever filed. But classmates remembered something chilling. Rachel was obsessed with Claire. And days before she vanished, Rachel had written her a note. It said, "If I can't keep you, no one will." Now the pattern looked terrifying. First Claire, then Anna, now Marcus. Had Rachel been killing for years? Or was there someone else pulling strings in the shadows? Detectives ran forensic tests on the second body, and they found something critical: a strand of hair. But it didn't match Rachel. It didn't match Marcus. It didn't match Anna. It belonged to someone else. A woman. The case cracked open again. Who was this mystery woman, and why was she connected to multiple murders? Detectives went back to Rachel, showed her the DNA results. For the first time, her calm cracked. Her hands shook, her eyes watered, and she whispered, one name: Claire. Detectives were stunned. Claire, the missing best friend from high school. The girl everyone thought was dead. Could she still be alive? Could she be behind
All of this? Rachel refused to say more. She shut down completely. But one thing was clear. The name Claire wasn't random. Detectives dug into Claire's disappearance. They uncovered a shocking twist. Claire had been adopted. Her real name wasn't Claire at all. Her birth name? Clara Hayes. And Clara Hayes had a criminal record: forgery, stalking, and one sealed case file marked violent assault. The timeline was disturbing. Claire vanished at 17. Rachel stayed quiet for years. And now, murders that carried Claire's signature appeared again. The phrase, "help Rachel." Could it have been Claire framing her old friend? Or could it have been Rachel crying for help all along? Detectives searched Rachel's belongings again. Hidden inside her closet, they found a small wooden box. Inside were photos. Dozens of them. Victims they already knew, but also faces police had never seen before. Smiling strangers, college students, young men, young women. On the back of every photo was a single date. Future dates. It looked like a kill list, planned out, organized, and terrifyingly precise. But the question was, whose list was it? Rachel's or Claire's? The FBI was called in. They issued a nationwide alert for Clara Hayes, but she seemed to have vanished again. No digital footprint, no credit cards, no social media. It was like chasing a ghost. Meanwhile, Rachel sat in her cell, unmoved, unbothered, until one night, guards reported hearing her talking, softly, whispering to someone who wasn't there. They swore they heard her say, "Not yet. They're not ready." Then, the next morning, chaos. Rachel's cell was empty, the door unlocked, no sign of forced entry. And on her bed, a note, written in the same handwriting found in Marcus's pocket. It read, "The game has just begun." Detectives were horrified. Rachel was gone. Claire, if she was real, was still missing. And that list of future dates was still ticking closer. The first future date, circled, was only 3 days away. Detectives didn't know who the next target was, but they knew one thing. If they didn't move fast, someone else was going to die. They studied the photos again. Faces, smiles, dates scribbled on the back. The first photo showed a woman. Blonde hair, nervous smile. Her name, written in faint ink, was Emily. Who was she? How did she connect to Rachel or Claire? Detectives launched a search. Emily turned out to be a 24-year-old nursing student, living just 20 miles from where Anna's body had been found. She had no criminal record, no strange behavior, a normal life. But when detectives knocked on her door, she didn't answer. Neighbors said they hadn't seen her since yesterday. Panic surged. The date on the back of Emily's photo was tomorrow. The clock was ticking. An emergency task force was formed. Officers searched Emily's apartment. Inside, they found something disturbing. On her mirror, written in lipstick, were the words, "She's next." Detectives rushed to trace her phone. The last ping came from a gas station on the outskirts of town. Security footage revealed the chilling truth. Emily had been there, paying for gas, looking nervous. But in the background, a figure watched her. A woman, dark hood, face hidden. But her posture, her build, it looked exactly like Rachel. How was that possible? Rachel had escaped custody, and now she was hunting again. Or was it Claire? Detectives scrambled to track the figure, but she disappeared into the night. No trace, no car. Just gone. The only clue left behind was a folded note Emily dropped at the station. Inside were 3 words. Don't trust her. The message raised more questions than answers. Who was Emily warning about? Rachel, Claire, or someone else? That night, police received a chilling call. A woman's voice. Calm. Measured. She said, "Stop chasing me. You'll only make it worse." Then silence. Detectives traced the call. It came from Emily's phone. The next morning, a jogger made a horrifying discovery. Deep in the woods, a blanket, wrapped tight. Inside, Emily's body, bound, bruised. But something was different this time. Pinned to her chest was a Polaroid photo. It showed Rachel, smiling, holding today's newspaper. Detectives were shaken. This wasn't just murder anymore. This was a performance, a game played out in real time. And Rachel, or Claire, was always 3 steps ahead. The FBI analyzed the Polaroid, but there was no sign of where it was taken, no identifiable landmarks, just Rachel's haunting smile. Then came another twist. Hidden behind the photo was another list. More names, more dates, and the next name was someone terrifyingly close, a detective on the case. His name was Detective Harris, one of the lead investigators, a man who had spent weeks chasing Rachel. Now, he was the target. The team scrambled to protect him, surveillance at his home, officers stationed outside, every move monitored. But Harris was restless. He couldn't sit still. He kept saying one thing over and over and over. "She wants me, not you. Me." That night, Harris received a text. No number, no name. Just 3 words. "Check your garage." He froze. Backup rushed to his house. They opened the garage and found another body. It wasn't Harris. It wasn't a stranger. It was Emily. Again. The team was stunned. They had already buried Emily hours ago. Now her body was here, posed differently, almost like a message. Was this the real Emily? Had the first body been a fake? Or was someone playing with them, switching identities? The autopsy revealed the chilling truth. Both bodies were Emily. Two different versions of her, one older, one younger. DNA matched, but ages didn't. It was like Emily had lived twice. Detectives couldn't explain it. Was it cloning, staging, or something far more sinister? The medical examiner said one thing. This isn't just murder. It's obsession. And it's planned on a level we've never seen before. Meanwhile, Harris's phone buzzed again. Another text. This time, an image, a live image. It showed Rachel, standing outside the police station, looking straight at the camera. And behind her, a figure with blonde hair, smiling. Alive! It was Emily. Detectives ran outside in
seconds, but the street was empty. No Rachel. No Emily. No one. Just a single Polaroid taped to the station door. On the back were 4 words. Tomorrow, it's Harris. The team was out of time. Rachel's game, or Claire's, was escalating. Victims were doubling. Identities were blurring. And now, one of their own was marked for death. But the most terrifying part? The next date circled on the list wasn't just Harris. It was 2 names. Harris and another detective on the case. Her name? Detective Lisa Torres. And she hadn't been seen since last night. Detective Lisa Torres was missing. Her name was on the list, and Harris's was too. 2 detectives, 2 targets, 1 date. The deadline was tonight. The task force launched a massive search. Every officer was on alert, every roadblock set up. But Rachel, or Claire, was always 1 step ahead. Detective Harris was restless. He refused to stay under guard. "This isn't about protecting me," he said. "She wants me. If I hide, Torres dies." Against orders, he left, gun holstered, determined to end this game. Hours later, Harris's phone pinged. A text. "Come alone. Bring no one. Torres is waiting." Attached was a photo. Lisa Torres, tied to a chair, eyes wide with terror. Behind her stood Rachel, smiling. The address led to an abandoned motel off the highway. FBI set up surveillance, but Harris insisted on going inside first. He entered. The halls were silent. Dust coated the floors. Every step echoed. Then he heard it. A faint cry. Lisa's voice. He kicked down the door. Lisa sat bound to a chair, gagged, alive. But something felt wrong. The room was too clean, too staged. And then the door slammed behind him. The lights flickered. A projector turned on, and grainy video filled the wall. It showed Harris walking into the motel, every step recorded. Then Rachel's voice came through speakers. "Welcome, Harris. You always thought you were the hunter, but you were the prey."
Lisa's chair collapsed. She fell forward, but when Harris rushed to help, he froze. The Lisa in the chair wasn't Lisa at all. It was a mannequin, a mask taped to the face, Torres's photo stapled over it. Another trap. Then movement. A figure stepped out from the shadows. Rachel. But this time, she wasn't alone. Another woman stood beside her. The spitting image of Rachel, but older, sharper features, colder eyes. Claire. Two women, two killers, side by side. Harris drew his gun, but Rachel spoke first. You've been chasing the wrong story. It was never about Anna, or Marcus, or Emily. It was about you. Claire stepped closer. We've been waiting for this night. Before Harris could react, the lights cut out. Gunfire exploded through the motel. Screams echoed through the building. When backup stormed the room minutes later, the room was empty. No Rachel, no Claire, no Harris. Just a single Polaroid left behind. On it, Harris's face, his eyes wide, fear frozen in time. And on the back, he's ours now. Detective Harris was gone. Torres was missing. Rachel and Claire had vanished into the night. The motel left only fragments, a broken chair, a burnt-out projector, and one Polaroid. Harris's terrified face, frozen forever. The message on the back was clear. He's ours now. The task force knew the game had changed. Rachel and Claire weren't just killers. They were orchestrators. Every move calculated. Every step ahead. But this time, they had taken a cop, and the city was on fire. The manhunt was massive. Roadblocks on every highway. Helicopters in the sky. Rachel's face plastered across every screen. Yet she still slipped through their fingers. Because while everyone was searching outside, Rachel and Claire were already inside. Inside the city. Inside the system. Inside their lives. The first clue came at dawn. A package was left at police headquarters. No return address. No fingerprints. Inside was a USB drive and a single note. Watch him. The drive contained a video. Detective Harris, chained in a basement, bruised, alive. Rachel stood behind him. Claire filmed. Rachel whispered into the camera. We don't kill quickly. We don't waste what's valuable. Harris is ours until the end. Then Claire leaned in, smiling. And Torres is already gone. The video cut off. The team froze. Torres, gone. But gone didn't mean dead. Not yet. They traced the video. The basement matched no known location. No addresses. No rentals. It looked like a place deliberately chosen. Underground. Soundproof. Hidden. Meanwhile, the killings didn't stop. Another victim turned up. This time, a judge, found in his home, strangled, with a Polaroid pinned to his chest. The photo showed Harris again, but this time smiling, as if he was part of it now. Detectives panicked. Had Harris been turned? Was he helping them? Or was it all staged to destroy morale? Either way, Rachel and Claire was sending a message. They weren't just killing random people. They were targeting the system itself.
A break came when a tech analyst decrypted fragments from the video. In the background, faintly visible, was a calendar on the wall. Circled in red, 3 letters. D-A-Y.
H.T. Detectives scrambled to connect it. Then it hit them. Denton Heights Theater, an abandoned movie house downtown, shut down years ago. It had a basement. The task force mobilized. SWAT surrounded the building. They stormed the entrance. Dark, dusty, silent. Every corner searched, every room cleared. Then downstairs, the basement door. They breached it, and there he was, Detective Harris, chained to the wall, emaciated, barely breathing. He whispered one word, "Run." But it was too late. The walls erupted with explosions, charges hidden in the foundation. The entire theater collapsed in seconds. 2 officers killed instantly, dozens injured. Rachel and Claire had booby-trapped a rescue. They wanted blood, and they got it. When the dust cleared, Harris was gone again, dragged away in the chaos. And Torres? Still missing. The case spiraled. The city lived in fear. Every day, another body, another Polaroid. But the pattern was clear now. Every victim was connected to law enforcement. Judges, prosecutors, detectives. Rachel and Claire weren't just killing. They were dismantling the system, piece by piece. The break came by accident. A homeless man digging through dumpsters found a bag. Inside, clothes, Polaroids, and a journal. The handwriting matched Rachel's. Inside were entries, plans, thoughts, and chillingly, an obsession with Detective Harris. She called him the chosen one. She said he was the key to the ending. And about Torres, Rachel had written, "Lisa is useful, but expendable. Harris must see her fall." The team doubled down. They tracked bank accounts, phone pings, old associates, until finally, a hit. A rental property outside town, signed under a fake name. But cameras showed them, Rachel and Claire, and Harris, alive. The raid was immediate. Helicopters overhead, armored trucks outside, dozens of officers. They stormed the house. Inside, rooms lined with Polaroids, victims' faces, future dates. And in the center, Detective Harris, tied to a chair. But his face was different, calm, almost peaceful. He looked at his fellow officers and whispered, "You shouldn't have come." Then Rachel and Claire stepped out, guns drawn, smiling. Chaos erupted. Bullets tore through the house. Officers down. Screams everywhere. When it ended, Rachel was dead, shot in the chest. Claire was gone, vanished into the night. And Harris? Still alive, but broken. He was rushed to the hospital, but the doctors reported something chilling. Harris refused to leave his room. He refused to talk. He just sat there, staring at the Polaroid clutched in his hands. The Polaroid showed Lisa Torres, still alive, somewhere out there. The FBI pushed Harris for answers. Where had he been kept? What had Rachel done to him? But Harris stayed silent, except for one phrase he repeated again and again. "She'll come back for me." Days passed. The killings stopped. The city exhaled. Rachel was gone. Claire was missing. But the terror seemed to fade. Until 1 week later, a nurse entered Harris's hospital room. The bed was empty. The window open. On the nightstand sat a Polaroid. It showed Harris, smiling, walking away with Claire. On the back were 3 words. He chose us. Detective Lisa Torres was never found. Harris was never seen again. And Claire Hayes? She remained a ghost. But the killings stopped. The lists ended. The game was over. Or maybe it had just moved somewhere else. Because 6 months later, across the country, another body turned up, wrapped in a blanket, Polaroid pinned to the chest. This time, the photo showed not Rachel, not Claire, not Harris, but the victim themselves, smiling, knowing, as if they had agreed to it. The case closed in official files, but detectives whispered about it for years. Some said Rachel was the mastermind. Others swore it was Claire. And some believed Harris had joined them willingly. But one truth remained. The Polaroids never lied. And somewhere out there, Claire still had a camera. Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so that you will be the first person to be notified once we release our new video.